All right, there we are.
Hey guys, how's it going?
We're live. How's everyone doing out there?
Hopefully well. We're running a couple of minutes late today, so sorry about that. It's 12:08. And before we get started, well, no, we should do introductions before we do the before we get started.
Before we get started, let's just start right now. My name is John Gardner.
Let's do it.
And this is my wife and law partner, Radlyn Mendoza. We are the immigration law firm Gardner and Mendoza, and we come to you every Friday from noon to 1 or from 12:08 to 12:45, which is what it's going to be today.
Yes, we have a little bit of a shorter live today. So get your questions in quickly.
Yeah, get them in quickly and we'll
get
try
to
to
them.
get to them. We come here to give you immigration updates if there's anything we think you need to know. And most importantly, like Radlyn just said, we like to answer your immigration questions. We also are simulcasting with our following out here on TikToks. Want to say hello to everybody over there.
Hey guys.
On TikTok. If you have questions on TikTok, get them in early. Please don't spam the TikTok. It makes it really difficult for me to find the questions. So just put them in and we will get to them in the order that we receive.
I like how you always say that. Ask people not to spam the TikTok comments.
Well, because once that happens,
because they still do.
It's game over. Yeah, it's
not game over.
It's not game over. You're right. It's not game over.
It's not game over.
So yeah,
it's just slower game.
Mm-hmm. So I want to say hi to a couple of people. I know that my mom and nephew usually tune in, so I want to say
hi guys,
Daniel and my mom. And my mom's coming for Thanksgiving.
I know.
So excited.
That's awesome, guys. Thanksgiving is coming up in just a couple of weeks. Watch out! It'll be right there before you know it, just like everything else.
Yeah.
I want to say hi to my mom too, since you said hi to yours.
I also want to remind everyone that what we do here is for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes. It is not legal advice.
Not legal advice.
Legal advice, TikTok folks, okay?
Is it Diana saying hello to us?
Yeah, saying hello. And we've got Lamona saying hello, good morning. Thank you. G, good morning. I've got already people giving us well wishes.
Right. And they're saying good morning. So they're probably on the West Coast. We have a lot of clients on the West Coast.
Yeah,
that's right. We have a lot of clients all over the world.
Our office is physically located in Virginia Beach, Virginia, which is on the east coast of the United States, the middle Atlantic region. But we do have clients all over the United States. We have clients all over the world. We do everything virtually. So wherever you are, we can absolutely represent you. We can help you out. Immigration law is federal, so it applies equally across all of the states. All right.
Yeah, and for those of you guys who come to our live stream every week or whenever you can, you may see that John has a different look today.
That's right.
Folks
out here.
He has a mustache.
That's right. I'm officially a Mobro is what it's called. I think
he's a Mobro. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the mustache and the.
Yeah.
Wait, did you tell everybody that we're a husband and wife?
I did. Okay. We are a husband and wife legal team. That is right.
Just want to make sure because I was about to touch your face, but then I didn't want people to be like, this is such a weird group of people. What are they doing at that law firm?
No, I told them. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, November is also Movember, where there's like it's like a charity. People are encouraged, men are encouraged to grow a mustache, or if you have a beard like I normally do, I shave it. So I just have a mustache for Movember. And it's really to raise awareness about men's mental health, and then specifically prostate cancer and testicular cancer. In fact, some of the organizations, Movember, who started this whole thing, the Mobros, I was looking up last year, they donated over $1.5 million to cancer research.
Awesome.
From people growing mustaches and making donations. And so this is an issue that's really close to my heart. I lost my own dad about 5.5 years ago to prostate cancer. So if you want to grow a mustache and donate some money to Movember, I would encourage you to do so. And
we'll put the link in the comments.
Yeah, and even if you don't want to do that, at the very least, make sure if you're a man or you have men in your life that you love, make sure that you encourage them to get their annual PSA testing and schedule appointments with their urologist to get all the checkups. It's really, 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 really important. All right.
Yep.
So that's my piece. That's why I got a mustache.
It's just so different.
It's a
for
little
the
getting-
month of November. We are doing headshots in a couple of weeks, so I think that's going to be kind of filling in. But
yeah, it'll fill in, and you can go any style you want. Some people go all the way down, like Hulk Hogan. Some go kind of straight out, like Ted Lasso. I kind of am honoring Burt Reynolds personally.
Nice.
This is sort of the Burt Reynolds look.
Burt Reynolds,
just the slight little handles.
He's the man. All right. Let's
okay. All the people on TikTok are like, "Who's Burt Reynolds? I've never heard of this Burt Reynolds."
Let's grab a question off of TikTok.
Okay.
There are no questions here right now.
All right, so let's get started,
guys. And we are ending early today because we have appointments that we need to get to. So 12:45, we will answer as many questions as possible. Oh, wait a minute! Before we get in, no, let's do a couple of questions because I do have processing times, which everybody is always interested in processing times.
Okay, first question came up here was Cherry Got Taste wants to know how long does it take for an I-90 replacement?
So I-90 replacement timeframes can vary, and we do this every week, and it's to show you all and talk to you all through on how to check processing times. So for the I-90 specifically, right? We recently filed an I-90 and we got the card in a matter of, I believe it was about 3 to 5 months. Whereas previously we wouldn't get a card for a whole year and they were super backlogged. So one thing to do when you're checking processing times, guys, here are the steps in order to do that. And this is for Cherry Got Taste. Is that what the username is? I like that username. Is go ahead and just Google USCIS processing times. And what will pop up is the USCIS website. It's going to say check case processing times. There are 3 boxes there. The first box says form, and it's a drop-down menu, and you are going to go to I-90 and select the category, whether it's an initial issuance or a replacement, or is this a 10-year renewal? Let's just say it's a 10-year renewal. You click on that, and they're getting processed at the Potomac Service Center. You click on the Potomac Service Center, get processing times. And right now, they are processing I-90 renewals, 10-year renewals in 4.5 months. So yes, now that I recall, that one was a 10-year renewal of an LPR card. So if it was an initial issuance or replacement, let's see what those processing times are. That's going to be 23 months. So it depends on the type of I-90 that you are processing, but Cherry Got Taste, hopefully that helps you be able to check your own processing times and feel a little bit more empowered as to what the heck's going on with my green card renewal, my I-90 renewal. Now, guys, we are talking about an I-90 renewal. We're not talking about an I-751 petition to remove the conditions on your lawful permanent residency status. That's a whole different thing. And warning for our friends out there in the world kind of doing this on their own is, one, you should have an immigration attorney help you with this. I don't care how small or how easy you think and how straightforward you think your case is. Trust me on this one. Okay. And the second thing is, if you have 2-year residency and you're a conditional resident, you do not file an I-90. You must file an I-751. And you don't know how many times people have come into our office. They're in complete shambles because they have filed the I-90 and then it gets denied a year later. And now their green card has expired and they filed the I-751 late. So don't do that. Okay. And I know this seemed like a seemingly very straightforward question, but who knows? Maybe Cherry Got Taste is talking about her 2-year residency card, and we don't want to give the wrong information. That's why this is not legal advice.
Not legal advice.
All right. Next up, oh, go ahead. Well, no. Now that, so, sorry, guys. Since we are talking about processing times, we took the liberty of taking a look at current processing times for lawful permanent residents filing for their spouses and their unmarried children under the age of 21. So we're going to go over that.
Yeah,
with
and
you
part
real
of
quick.
this is because we get so many questions that involve processing time. So we decided we're just going to knock these out.
Yes. Let it be known at 12:19 p.m. we have gone over processing times on November 3rd of 2023. So if you are a lawful permanent resident and you are thinking about or have already filed an I-130 petition for your spouse, you guys know that you can do that as lawful permanent residents, right? You can file a petition for your spouse, or you have filed a petition for your unmarried child under the age of 21. This is how long it's going to take USCIS, United States Immigration Services, to process your I-130 petition. Okay. So California Service Center, 36.5 months. Nebraska Service Center, 32 months. Potomac Service Center, 32.5 months. Texas Service Center, 35.5 months. Vermont Service Center, 35 months. So that's a long time. Is that 3 years? That's 3 years. So you file an I-130 petition. 3 years later, the petition is approved. That is not the end of it, guys. You then go to National Visa Center and you process a National Visa Center. And then you wait for an interview to become available wherever your family member lives, your spouse or unmarried child under the age of 21. So, guys, get the I-130 petition filed. Just get done, because an I-130 takes 3 years right now, roughly, under the most current processing times on USCIS website. Let us know if you have any questions about that.
Yeah, and if you're watching this not live, if you're watching it later, because we post all these to our Facebook page once they're done, you can look in the comments to find the time that we get to various issues.
Yep.
Right?
Ricardo says, I don't think USCIS processing times is accurate. When it's outside the normal processing times, you can't do an inquiry sometimes a year after passing the normal processing times. Ricardo, you are correct. It sometimes goes well beyond what's posted on the processing times. And if you all find that to be true, Ricardo is saying he's having issues when he's trying to submit a inquiry request. You know, you might want to think about doing congressional liaison assistant. So, yeah. Ricardo calls it their little trick, because it clearly states that 80% of cases are filed within this time period. So yes, it can be longer, it can be shorter. But I think, Ricardo, we can all agree, I agree with everything that you're saying, by the way. We can all agree that we need to file the case. All right. So that those are the process times, as I mentioned. Lawful permanent residents filing for their spouses and unmarried children under the age of 21. And let's go to U.S. citizens. U.S. citizens filing for their spouse, unmarried children under the age of 21, or their parents. Okay. For California, it's 14.5 months. Potomac, 13 months. Texas Service Center, 14 months. And Vermont Service Center, 14.5 months. So right around, I mean, at least they're consistent here, right? So right around 14 or so months. That has increased, right? It was, we were giving time frames from 10 months and some service centers to 16 months. That is increased a little bit from that 10-month time frame. So again, get those filed. Now, you guys who are listening to this, you might be thinking, wow, it really takes a long time if I'm a lawful permanent resident. I wonder if I should file for U.S. citizenship. And of course, what is the answer to that?
Yes, absolutely. If you're eligible.
If you're eligible.
No question about it.
Yep. If
And
you're
right
eligible.
now is a perfect time to do it. You can tell them why the times are shorter, the election coming up.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a good time to file for U.S. citizenship.
That is true.
And we do have an election in November of 2024. it happens sometimes that, well, it happens every presidential election, that some of the priorities of USCIS is to process as many N-400 applications as possible in the shortest amount of time possible, so we can have more voters on election day. So guys, take advantage of this opportunity, even if you don't get it adjudicated in 3 months like some of our clients have. It's still wise to file if you're eligible for U.S. citizenship and you've been thinking about it, you've been procrastinating about it. There are multiple reasons why you should become a U.S. citizen. One of them, of course, is shorter processing times. If you are filing a petition for these family members that we've talked about, it does open up your ability to petition for additional family members like your parents, your married children, your siblings. And of course, my favorite reason and John's favorite reason is when you're a U.S. citizen, you generally cannot be deported or removed from the United States,
right?
No matter what you do. And guys, let me tell you, and John has worked on these cases, that good people sometimes do bad things. Surprise, surprise, we're all human beings, right?
Yeah, and don't think, if you're thinking, well, I don't need to worry about that, I'm not going to kill anybody or rob a bank. I'm not talking about killing people and robbing banks. I'm talking about way more minor things, like a fight with your husband or wife and the police get called out and there's an assault and battery accusation, allegation. And then the next thing you know, you have potentially an immigration problem. So these are not, you don't have to commit the crime of the century to be removable if you're not a U.S. citizen. So Radlyn is right. You should everyone should become a U.S. citizen if they're eligible and want to. And this is a perfect time to do it. The times are, as Radlyn said, it's a lot faster right now, or can be.
Yep.
I would add that, with the presidential election, every time we have a new president, there's a lot of talk about immigration reform. It comes up every time. And you just don't know. At least right now, you know exactly what is involved in the process. It could get harder. We could get a new president, and then there could be a change in how hard the questions are, what the requirements are.
It is going to get harder.
You just never know. And so it's a good idea right now to do it.
Yep.
And it's something that we can help you with. So
absolutely.
If you do want to do it, give us a call. And you want to make sure you consult with us before you rush into it, because you may not be eligible. You want to make sure, and you want to make sure that there's not something in your past that you don't want to accidentally, unknowingly open up a problem, a can of worms that now you have a new problem that was not on anyone's radar. So you want to be careful with that.
Absolutely. We advise people not to file their N-400s.
Sometimes.
Right. I hate it when we have to do that, but because of background history or previous misrepresentations or whatever, we advise not to, because if you do, then there's the possibility of opening up a huge, big can of worms. So absolutely file if you can. And my LPRs out there, guys, listen. You might be listening to this and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to become a U.S. citizen in 2 years. I'm eligible. I'll just wait to file the I-130 petition for my spouse until I become a U.S. citizen. Don't do that. Don't do that. File your I-130 petition. In 2 years, get your U.S. citizenship, right? Because once you file the I-130 petition as a lawful permanent resident, then you will have your priority date. And when you become a U.S. citizen, then you would be just changing your status from lawful permanent resident to U.S. citizen. I'm not saying upgrading the status. Because I don't think U.S. citizenship is better than lawful permanent residency. Just as a general idea and concept. But I'm saying upgraded because your case is going to go in a different, faster category. And so just file that I-130 petition as a lawful permanent resident, and then it goes into a different category. It goes faster. So.
All right. Oh, and my mom just said,
yes,
looking forward to seeing you.
We are looking forward to seeing you too. We got some bad information that the Thanksgiving trip was off.
Yeah. All right, you want to jump
Lost in
back,
communications.
back
Yeah.
to TikTok here, or you want to grab Elise's here over on
Yeah, let's
Facebook?
grab, because I don't think that we,
You have one question there from Elise.
okay, Elise, can you read that while I pull this up?
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that.
It says, good afternoon. I'm from the Philippines and under a K-1 visa. Will I encounter a problem during my visa interview if my petitioner has a low income, like 19,000?
Yeah. So really great question. Thanks for joining us from the Philippines. It's past midnight there. So
By the
we
way,
appreciate.
Elise, yesterday we had a client bring us a mango supreme from Red Ribbon.
Oh yeah.
And I had a slice this morning for breakfast.
I know. I did too. It's not. It's just.
It is so good. It's a mango cake.
We're never going to reach our health goals if we
No, we're
eat
really
mango
not.
cake for breakfast, but it was really good.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. So back to the question. When you're doing your fiance visa process, or if you're doing your immigrant visa petition process, then family-based, and you're going to have an affidavit of support. For the fiance visa, it's going to be the I-134, so you're not going to have to file the affidavit of support, the 864. And right now, for a household size of 2, the poverty guidelines cutoff is you have to be making at least, for a family household size of 2, $24,650. If your sponsor, your petitioner, your spouse is in the military, then that number drops down to $19,720 for a household size of 2. So the question specifically is husband, spouse, I don't know if it's a husband or a wife, but spouse makes, future husband or wife, spouse makes around $19,000. Is that going to be a problem? It may be. Yes, you may have to get a joint sponsor.
Mhm.
We absolutely would. This is not legal advice, but we recommend to our clients that if it's below the poverty guidelines, then we get a joint sponsor. So at least if you need help with that, let us know. We can help.
Absolutely.
And a really, really good question.
Yeah, great question.
All right. What do we have on the TikTok?
Okay, we have a question over here on TikTok. Came in very early on. Miguel, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Sorry if I'm not. Says, good morning. The question is, can I petition my parents if we are to be stationed in Japan? My spouse is in the Navy.
So if you are a U.S. citizen and you're going to be stationed abroad due to military service, you can absolutely petition for your parents. Towards the end of this process, you are going to have to submit an affidavit of support, and at that point, you're going to have to show that you have you're domiciled in the United States, or you have domiciliary intent, and you do, right? You're only temporarily stationed in Japan, and you're going to be going back to the United States after that. So that should not be a problem and an issue because that you're stationed in Japan. So first off, congratulations. Well, this would be second off. Secondly, congratulations on taking the first steps in filing for your parents if they want to immigrate to the United States.
All right.
And I say if they want to immigrate to the United States, one of the things and one of the videos I actually have up is kids, before you go out and petition for your parents and you go through the expense and the time of doing that, make sure that they want to be here, because sometimes they don't. and then they move back, and then you guys call me up and you say, gosh, my parents are back in their country and they've been there for 8 months. Are they going to lose their green card? They can't come back. They're going to be gone for over a year. Are they going to lose their green card? The last time they came back into the United States, because they were going in and out so much and not staying in the United States, are they going to lose their green card? The answer is yes, possibly. And I have this kind of heart-to-heart conversation with some of our clients, because it's like, before you do this, because we have seen it so many times where parents have the green card and then they have to abandon the green card. Hopefully that doesn't apply to you and your parents really want to come here. But sometimes it's just not their cup of tea. Parents have their own lives in their countries, and we are super busy here in the United States, right? Our kids are busy, so the grandkids aren't home. You're busy because you're working 1 or 2 jobs. They don't want to be with your spouse anyway. So got to really evaluate. All right. A little bit off topic, but something to think about, and just as important.
Yeah. Okay. So Daniela over here, and I know a little Tagalog. So she says, "Magandang umaga, ma'am." Good morning.
Magandang umaga.
Well, I can read that. Even I know that.
I know.
And then this is funny. This is a voice transcription gone wrong, but we'll get to the right question. Shrek002 said, I was trying to figure out this question. Is it Monday therapy allowed to go interview with you? And then redid it. Is it mandatory for your lawyer to go to the interview with you?
No, it's not.
All right. It is not mandatory.
Not mandatory.
You think it's recommended?
Yeah, it's recommended. You can also, depending, I'm pretty sure that most offices are now doing, allowing attorneys to do telephonic. It was a carryover from COVID. So yes, I do recommend that your attorney or an attorney attend that interview with you if at all possible.
All right. And we got a couple people here said, Mayang at law. Mm-hmm. Hi, Po.
Our Filipino supporters showing up.
They sure
Appreciate it, guys. All right. Jaquit says, USCIS received my RFE for medical. What next? What next is you have to wait for them to just go ahead and approve your case.
Yeah.
And hopefully that happens pretty soon. Elise says, thank you. My sponsor is actually your former client there in Virginia, so he will visit your office again maybe next month. Yay. Awesome.
All right. Fantastic.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So Shelby, I'm going to come back to this H-1B question, but Shelby first says, hi, my partner overstayed his holiday visa.
Okay.
What are the repercussions of applying when we get married? So this is a super common situation. That's why I wanted to get to it before we make sure.
Okay. So overstay visa, Shelby, first question is, are you a U.S. citizen? And if you are a U.S. citizen, then your partner may be able to adjust their status and get their lawful permanent residency based on marriage to you, U.S. citizen, and may be able to do that even though they have overstayed. So my recommendation is definitely to give us a call. Or if you don't want to give us a call, immigration attorneys, I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you don't want to, fine, it doesn't matter. But please give another recommended immigration attorney a call to help you with your case.
Yep.
So I was just talking to one of our attorneys, Dom, and we just got a new case in. This case was self-filed, and it's all in different pieces. Parts of it came back, parts of it got rejected, and we're having to pick up the pieces because of this self-filing, and we're super happy to do that. But trust when I say that it's better to get off on the right foot with your immigration case, because you're going to, you're going to save time. You're going to be able to do things faster. One thing, some people like to talk about it in terms of numbers, right? Like, let's say you messed your case up and it delayed your case for a year, and that whole year passed and you could have had a work permit for part of that year. How much money would you have been able to make, or your spouse be able to make, with authorization to work in the United States? Money aside and income aside, what would that do for your spouse or your partner, right? What is the peace of mind like when a person who's overstayed and you've actually hired an attorney and you've properly filed it, and you know that the case is in good hands, and you know that no matter what happens, you've got your attorneys there to help you out. What does that feel like to your spouse? And what does it feel like for you as a brand new married couple, right? And starting out your marriage. So these are the things to think about. And don't be what is it? Penny wise, yes.
Pound foolish.
Don't not want to spend for your immigration case and then in the end up losing $30, $50, $80,000 in potential income and peace of mind, which is you can't put a price tag on peace of mind. So
yeah, Shelby, this your situation, it could be all to quote some of my children, our children through the years.
Yes, John and I are married.
Yeah, we're married. We have 3 daughters. I don't have any other children, just those 3. Just want to make sure what's
What did you say? One of the questions on the immigration application is, do you have any children anywhere in the world? It's not specifically, but immigration officers like anywhere in the world. So,
but Shelby, yeah, I mean,
hey, do you have any other children?
Shelby, this could be all rainbows and unicorns in your future, but also a lot could go wrong if you don't do it right. So this is why you should absolutely call us and let us help you with it. Or as Radlyn said, if you don't like us for whatever reason,
we don't take it personally.
We don't take it personally. Make sure that you hire a competent professional immigration attorney to help you with this. Okay? Because a lot of pitfalls you could run into here.
Wonderful question.
Yeah, wonderful question. Thanks, Shelby.
Okay, Radney says, I like that name. Hi, ma'am. Do you know how long it will take to wait for the interview date right after we got the DQ document qualified? My wife is under conditional residence 1. No, unfortunately not. Interviews times are all over the place, and depending on what embassy your wife will be interviewing, it's really hard to tell, but be patient, try to be patient. And I'm what's the word I'm looking for? I'm saying that not in a be patient kind of way, but just in the most kind way that I can. You all have to try to be patient. Philippine embassy is super backlogged, and keep the lines of communications open. You guys, it looks like you have a wonderful, beautiful family. I'm sure you're super ready for your wife to get here.
We have seen both of those. We've been to the U.S. Embassy in the Philippines, and we've been to the Philippine Embassy in Washington. Both neat places. Okay, let's see here. All right, we done over there?
I think we were.
So yeah, so the question here, and how does it make you feel, wants to know if you have any insights or any thoughts on H-1B likelihood this year. Do you think there'll be any changes with the numbers?
I haven't heard anything. I think it will be the same lottery situation. I don't see any big changes with that as far as how they're going to process that and what that's going to look like and percentage of people who are going to get picked. And I think it's going to be status quo, which is not great news because many people miss out on getting an H-1B number and miss out on their chance to apply for the H-1B. So registration starts in March for all you employers out there who are thinking about it, or if you are potential applicants and candidates to work for a place and you need an H-1B, registration starts in March. So if your employer has never gone through this process before, then highly recommend reaching out and having that conversation. Reaching out to us and having the conversation. All right, we have
just a couple more minutes. Boy, we have so many questions on TikTok right now. Feel bad. We're cutting out early today. We have to. You folks on TikTok, you got to promise me you're going to come back next Friday at noon, okay?
So Emily says, if someone has TPS now but didn't enter with inspection, can they do an adjustment of status? Is TPS legal status, or do they have to use advanced parole, then adjustment of status? Emily, I have to admit that I I delegated not delegated, but when one of our attorneys started doing TPS, all of the knowledge went along with that attorney, and I have not been keeping up with TPS. I know that the advanced parole discussion has been in flux. I'm not even going to say anything because I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. I will put up a comment here, but well, I am going to say anything. I think that advanced parole and adjusting status is depending on when it all happened, may not be around anymore. But I will answer the question and comment. Great question though.
Okay, I think we're down to last question.
One
here.
last question, guys. Sorry, we have to cut
Yeah.
out early today. We will be here. Ooh, are we going to be here on Friday?
We are not going to be here next Friday. You're right. Thank you for the reminder. We will be here the following Friday.
Maybe we should do. Okay. Well, I always say that.
May wants to know. Excuse me. LD Wilson, that's the next one. Sorry about that. Says, I'm planning to petition my mom. I'm a U.S. citizen. Do I have to file the I-145 together with the I-130?
So LD Wilson, again, congrats on taking the first step and petitioning for your mom. It depends on where mom is. Is mom in the United States? You're talking about I-45. I'm assuming she is in the United States. If that's what you're talking about, adjusting her status, you can only do adjustment of status if the person is in the United States. And generally speaking, yes, you would be concurrently filing an I-130 petition and a 485 together, I-485 together, all things being the right type of case to do those types of things concurrently. So it's a very broad answer, but I don't want to, again, this is not legal advice. We're only giving out information. And LD Wilson's is a perfect example. I don't know anything about where mom is. So I may be giving out the wrong information if I tell him to concurrently file, which is why this is not legal advice. All right.
Okay, everyone. Sorry we
Ending early today.
Sorry we have to end early. Thanks again for joining us. Again, if you want to grow a mustache for Movember, like I have, I encourage it. And you can also find out more on the internet about Movember. They paired up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation last year and raised over $1.5 million just from people growing mustaches and making donations. So if you're so inclined, I would encourage you to look it up and get involved. It's a good cause. All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you soon.
2 thumbs up.
That's right.
Thumbs up vibes.
2 thumbs up.
Bye. Take care. Thank you, guys.